Okay, guys, we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly Star Master today, because today we are going to be playing the first part of a two-part adventure to wrap up the year, to celebrate the holidays, and to have an excuse to go back to a game that I really like running. And that is Paizo Publishing's, I guess officially, Starfinder First Edition, because we will be seeing in the near future a second edition of this game coming out. For those unfamiliar, Starfinder is a science fantasy RPG that includes a number of inspirations from a variety of different sci-fi sources and gaming sources to create its own unique setting. And with me today are the stars of today's session. Actually, stars of the whole campaign, I should say, or adventure. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today? First up, we've got Graham.
Oops. Hi, I am Graham. I am playing Zozum Zoo. I think it's a he. I'm not sure.
It is.
Is it he? Okay.
Yes.
He is a Kasathan. And he has four arms and a mask over his face. He doesn't show his mouth to anyone unless we're really good friends. And he is a persecuted Solarian and follows a mystic and fiery path of power.
Nice. And joining Graham is Darren.
Hello there, yeah, Darren here. I am playing Zebiana Lomanoff, who is a half-drow street rat, or a rogue type. Yeah, very much into, well, quite a sneaky character. A lot of, I don't know if intimidation's probably not the right one. It's more persuasion and...
The Envoy class is kind of like the Bard in D&D, but a little... If you're going to pigeonhole certain of the Starfinder classes into things, that's the...
okay.
Envoy
More
would be
bardy.
thought of as that, but chatty type, but not musically. There's no need to be carrying around a turntable or some other modern convenience. You're that irritating character who continually plays music from their phone at all times. So neither Graham, Darren has played, I believe, a grand total of 1 session of Starfinder thus far, and Graham has played 0 sessions of Starfinder so far. So we're going to be doing a little bit of other explanation for the setting to give context to the world. But our adventure is called Swords and Planets, and in keeping with sort of the Swords and Planet and pulpy inspiration for this, I ran out of time, so I didn't actually write it, but you can picture that this would open with a quasi Star Wars or AirSat Star Wars opening crawl declaring this as Chapter 4. What has happened before is that Zebiana and the rest of the crew of the Solar Wave had been hired by an as yet unknown party, or at the time unknown party, to recover a specific item. An item that had been purchased purportedly lawfully at a auction and then stolen by someone. Thanks to the connections that Zebiana has and the knowledge that their crew member, unfortunately, one of our players was very sick this morning, so wasn't able to join us, but we will have someone playing Doc tomorrow. Your third member of your crew is Dr. Oddball Napak. And you guys can call him Doc, you can call him Oddball, you can call him Doc Napak. I'll leave it to you guys to tell us how you want to refer to your little Yasaki xenoarchaeologist / technomancer. But he also brought some skill to the table, and Zoe is the protection. He is the one who kind of keeps Zeb and Doc from out of trouble when they inevitably get themselves into trouble. What I said, you can kind of think of Zeb's relationship, or Zoe's relationship to Zeb, as kind of Luke and Chewie rolled into one. So if you both a sober second thought, but also when you need someone to get you out of trouble, he is going to be really good for that. You traveled all across the packed worlds, the setting, the single solar system that is the default setting for Starfinder to track this down, and then you managed to track down the object that had been purchased and then stolen. It seems as well that there's a little more to what's going on, because when you acquired your object, you were then offered further work from your employer, and you found out who said employer was. Now, Castrovel, and I think I've got do I have a map set up for this? Let's see here. I don't. Let me show you. Castrovel. And Darren, you've already had a chance to visit Akiton, which is my favorite of the worlds in Starfinder. Castrovel is a very close second, because it is an ancient alien elven homeland. It has space dinosaurs on it in the thick jungles, and there is a green dragon who has taken over the city of Portals, where the elven network used to be controlled from. And while the elves, you would think, would just go in and remove him, he has two layers of protection. One of them is the legal protection, so they do not want to deal with the law that might get in the way. Although you may be thinking, but that's a pretty flimsy excuse. That's true. But the rumors of thermonuclear devices hidden around the city of Portals is a stronger deterrent for people just going in and seizing the city of Portals back from the High Transiarch, or so he refers to himself. This ancient green dragon charges fees and allows elves and others to make use of a portal network called the Ayudara. The Ayudara, or the Elf Gates. The Elf Gates can travel not only across Castrovel itself, but widely, not only to different places on Castrovel, but also to far and distant worlds. The gap, which we talked about before the session, has had an impact, because some of the Ayudara, you don't know how to activate them anymore, or they don't know where they go, or they were damaged in the thousands and thousands of years that have passed since they were originally constructed. But it is a very valuable network, because it is one of the rare ways that you can get around actually having to travel intervening distances between solar systems. You can simply open the gate and go your way through. All you need to do is pay an ancient green dragon a fee and go through. I'm certain that there is no other sinister overtones to that. Now, I mentioned the dragon Urvosk, because that, it seems, is who has hired you. Now, what we can open with is with you guys traveling within system. Let me show you. Did I bring you over here yet? I didn't. Madison, come on. Guys, this is going to be Castrovel. This is where you will be heading. The Elven continent is Soverian here. Where is the... Oh, I can't remember the name. Is it El? Is El the city of Portals? I can't remember which city is the actual city of Portals, but it is on Soverian. The other inhabitants of, or major kind of inhabitants of Castrovel, are the Lashunta, those antennae-headed non-human species. And the Lashunta, I think I got a pretty badass illustration. Oh, I probably do, but it's further down. Castrovel itself is a jungle world, all the way across, and here is a sense, guys, if you wish to Castrovel whet your imagination. That's sort of what you can expect. Wildly unnatural stuff that you would find very different from the more Earth-like Golarian features that would be on different places on elsewhere in the Pact Worlds. Pact Worlds themselves, like this. Now, within system, you don't make use of the Pact Worlds, or the Pact Worlds, the Drift Drive. I mentioned the Idari before we went live. That's the Kasathan ship there. Absalon Station is where Golarian used to be. Akiton, the planet of the Airsats kind of Mars, and Castrovel, where you were headed. So we can start off. We talked before we went live about what ship you have, and you have a Solar Maiden class vessel called the Solar Wave. Or Sunrise Maiden, not Solar Maiden. So we can picture that you guys are in one of the meeting rooms here. What is that? They're maybe in the recreation suite. Zeb, Zoe, and Doc. And let's get some dice rolling here. Why don't you guys give us a culture check, please? Okay, 18. 10 is not great. Oh, and we're going to play with Astonishing Fortune, too. So you're each going to have 1 point of Astonishing Fortune you could spend to re-roll, and then we'll get you another point after. Let's give you 2. 2 points of Astonishing Fortune. We'll give you another 2 at the mid-session break. So, Zeb, what you know is that obviously, the elves on Castrovel are not thrilled with a dragon running the Ayudara network, but there's very little they can do to take up arms directly against it, though it doesn't prevent them from scheming to try and find ways to gain access to that. Right now, you've received the artifact that you had recovered. It is in the kind of safety box or the secure container that the auction house would have released it in, and it has not been opened as of yet. Whatever is in here is something that Urvosk wanted, and what you know is that the people you took it back from, the other, how do we put it delicately, the other acquiring agents, like yourselves, they were working for someone else, but you have not figured out who yet. So somebody else wanted whatever is in this box. Communication in this is like it is in Traveler. It moves at the, unless you're using magic, it moves at the speed of travel. So within system, we're talking minutes to get things. There is a equivalent of the like infosphere in here that you can access. So you have full access to any kind of internet search or quick phone call or whatever that you can try and do in our world. You can definitely do in Starfinder as well. So the question that Doc asks first, rubbing his little hands. So, Zeb? Can I open it?
How much are we being paid for this job? I mean, is this worth?
Very generously. And there's the prospect of further work as well. Apparently there is further work that this person wants, and while there are some who may tell you to never deal with a dragon, it can be quite lucrative. And Urvosk, the High Transiarch, is a very powerful being in the Pact Worlds. So if you've got them as a patron, that could be quite lucrative.
Is it got some sort of seal that you could tell that we'd opened it?
It really does. So it's a question of whether someone could use some kind of chicanery to get it open or to replace the seal afterwards.
I would definitely have a look at that before I would allow Oddball to even think about opening it.
Okay.
What's the chances of us covering it up?
So I think that he is trained. Doc is trained in sleight of hand, which is effectively like the thievery kind of thing. So he's fairly confident he can get it back in. Doc is also quite handy with computers and with engineering, which is like the catch-all, repair or manufacturing thing. So you can feel free to instruct him to try and repair it or replace it afterwards. The question is whether it would fool a dragon, I guess.
I mean, Zeb is intrigued. She's really intrigued what is in there. But
I'm not.
So. Well, you stay.
What on earth are you doing? What on earth are you playing at? I mean, I'd say you're playing with fire, and I should know because that's what I spend most of my time doing. You're playing with a dragon. The dragons see through everything. They see through deceit. It's one of the things that they do. And for a mote of curiosity, you are endangering both our current mission, our reputations, and the possibility of a bright and sunny future. But
yeah, but all that to one side, this could be worth so much more than we're being offered. This could be...
Oh, I see. You're thinking of you're actually stealing the artifact from the dragon. Sorry, I thought you were just simply having a quick peek, but no, actually, you're looking to defraud a dragon. I apologies.
This dragon is stationed at this location. It's never going to chase us down. It's never going to follow us.
Oh, I think you'll find the dragon has got a very long reach.
Well, Oddball, what do you think? If you can put this back exactly as it is, maybe we could have a look. But I want your guarantee.
His nose is kind of twitching as he's weighing over what each of you have said. And he's, obviously there's no guarantees in anything, but do you think it'd be good to know what we're delivering first?
Well, it could change the way of the world on this planet. It could be something. Obviously, a lot of people have been after this.
They do seem that. So he, you see, and his tail is just swishing back and forth. You need not make any sense motive check to know what he wants to do.
So some Zoo's just muttering in the corner. Yeah.
I'll sort of start talking to Zoom, and behind my back, I'll be like, the hand will go out, sort of, go on, get on with it. And I say, well, I don't know, Zoom, I mean.
So what I could, if I might suggest, you've got comm units, and you also have your armor and whatnot, which would have like a limited AR kind of feature to it. You could easily text him while talking to Zoe,
right. Okay,
and be like, yeah, go do it right now.
Yeah, so I'll be trying the old sort of...
So why don't... Actually, you guys have access to Doc's, rather than me roll. Why doesn't one of you go in there and give us a sleight of hand check, please?
Oh, let's find that. Sleight of hand. Okay. Oh, that's pretty good.
Good Lord.
Nearly flawless opening of it. So Zoe, as Zeb comes over and starts talking to you, your perception is quite high, so you need not make a roll for this, but you realize like he's gone and done it. And when the box is open, what you find in there is some kind of stone. It almost looks like a pole or a staff, or maybe a rod in like a D&D term, because it's only about 3 feet long. There are markings along it, and then there is a big circle at the top, like a hoop. If you think of like a stone-made kind of like, badminton racket, but without strings in it, it looks very much like that and is around that size. Doc looks at it, and he doesn't, he's doing that, playing with his fingers, because he's just so excited to see this thing. whiskers are also really dancing at the end of his nose. But even at a glance, Zeb and Zoe, you can each give us a culture check. Let's see if you recognize anything about these before Doc intervenes. All right, so Zeb, yeah. So the drow in the Pact Worlds, the equivalent of Pluto is, it's not Akiton, what's it? Apostate. Wait, is it apostate or is it... I just want to double check one thing. It's either apostate or our Octon, where the drow are. I think it's apostate. Let's see here. Yeah. So the equivalent of... It's actually not even the equivalent of Pluto. It's the equivalent of Charon. There is a, like, lifeless planetoid at the very edge of the Pact World solar system, and in there are caverns where some ancient civilization used to occupy, and have like left remnants of machines and whatnot. And it's within those caverns that the drow retreated before the disappearance of Galarian. That is where you grew up. It is a very fucking bad place, particularly for a half drow. But what you recognize on these markings, the drow, as distant as they are and as much as they claim to be their own people, are elves. And these are clear elven markings on this, and from your roll, they look to be quite old. These are the kinds of markings that might even date back to the creation of the Ayudara, the Elf Gates. I've got the name in notes elsewhere, but there is a legendary creator of these things. And with that good of a roll too, I will tell you that the Elf Gates require keys, which can be sometimes metaphorical keys, like speaking a word or carrying a certain, substance, or moving in a certain way, or thinking of a certain form. But sometimes it's literally a physical object that serves as the key. And that's what you just can't think of this. This may be a way to open an Ayudara, and because of the nature of them, if you do not have the key, they do not function. Which means that this may be a key to a doorway that has been closed for as long as this has been off of Castroval, or wherever the destination is.
I would explain why everybody wants it.
Where it leads is another question. I will tell you one other thing, Zeb. The gap was challenging for a lot of different races. Suddenly losing track of where you were and whatnot. That was tough, but in a lot of races, or a lot of species, a generation is 25 years. Once one or two of those pass, it becomes a tragedy in the past, but not but lost. Elves, however, they live thousands of years. And so the loss of 300 years of history, of who you were, and what your role was, and who your family was, and not only losing the memory of it, but losing that emotional connection to it too, was a catastrophic loss for the elves. Unlike, there are very few species. Dragons, oddly enough, might be in that basket as well of long-lived creatures. But for elves, it represented a fundamental and existential threat to them. They just lost track of who they were, quite literally. To the point in the Pact Worlds, as a bit of trivia, there's a colony of elves that were on their way to setting up on a different world when the gap struck. And they have no idea why they were going there. So they don't know what they were. Were they fleeing something? Were there some kind of religious mission? Who knows? So that is just one example of the way that it has hit the elves. So having access to new places that the elves once were, in particular for them, would be a way of helping to piece together what happened and maybe what they were.
And what's the relationship between the drows and the elves?
Very hostile. They're not part of the drow, have been, even from the time of Golarion, there was a split between them culturally, physiologically, as the drow went to, largely took up a place called the Darklands underneath. I genuinely don't remember what the backstory is for the reason for the split in it. And now they're actually excising the drow from all Paizo products because of WotC's, nonsense this year. But what you would know is that they are still definitely, the drow are effectively for thousands of years have been their own people, distinct culture and whatnot, but they are still at their core elves. You could read Elven and you could read Drow and probably make sense of most of what's in there.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that I wouldn't be happy to help the elves with this gate at this stage.
No, not necessarily. You would not feel any kind of kinship necessarily. And given your background too, a kid who grew up on the street as a half Drow offspring, the Drow, because of their secretive nature and because of the demon worship they're alleged to be indulging in Castrovel, unfairly, there may be people who are making assumptions about you when they meet you.
Okay.
As a caution, too, if elves find that as in their eyes, a drow is cruising around with the Ayudara key, probably going to have some issues with that, too.
Yeah. So I turned to Oddball. Oddball, what are you doing? We hadn't decided on whether to open it. And I'll be texting. Well done.
His ears go flat against his head, and he says, "I'm so sorry, Zeb. I couldn't help myself."
Yeah. Well, that's...
What do you make of this, though?
Well, I think I could be wrong. This is definitely Elven in creation. The markings, I would have to say, it could even be a key to one of the gates.
He nods.
A pause.
If we had any doubt as to who our employer is, I think that should be dispelled by this. Is expanding his business, you think? Or something else? The Ayudara, the only functioning ones regularly we know of, are in the City of Portals, but there's ruins of them across the planet and on distant worlds.
Well, obviously, access to new worlds would be something that people would pay some good money for.
Agreed.
To travel.
New markets, new opportunities, new law.
Well, that's the thing with the drift technology that's used to travel in the Starfinder setting, that only came after the gap. It was a signal transmitted that went out across the galaxy with this information of how to build this technology. And so now there is this technology, but drift beacons need to be placed out. The neat thing they do in the game is through the drift, it never will take you more than about 2 weeks to reach anywhere in the galaxy. It's just the difficulty of finding where you want to go. Yeah, because there's travel within the packed worlds, there's near space, and there is, the far kind of horizons. And, I mean, you need to have a destination in order to reach there, and you need to know where you want to go. But the expansion out and the interaction with other cultures and other, the packed worlds are so called because there's an alliance among the worlds that are in here. But there are rivals as well. There's the Veskarium, which is a very Klingon-esque thing run by a reptilian species. There is the Aeon. What are they called? Aslanti, Star Empire, which is a very kind of race-focused kind of empire of the, Star Wars Empire variety. And then there are a ton of lost colonies who are, need to be rediscovered and whatnot. So finding a new place to go, definitely, there's lots. The Church of Abadar, the god of commerce and whatnot, might be very interested in that. But in any event, lots of different people who may be interested in what this might offer. So Doc says, I agree. But what do we do with it? Take the meeting on Castrovel, pass it over, and see what else they want?
It's intriguing. It would definitely allow us more work, more money. But what would someone else pay for it? And the old dollar signs appear in the eyes of Zeb.
I could try and study it in the day we've got. Well, let me check. Hold it. Travel within system. I can't remember. I think it's 1d6 days. Because generally you don't use drift travel to travel within systems. So
we arranged to already drop this off. We've already told them we've got it.
You've told you got it. That's sort of where you found out who you were working for. You didn't know that you were working for.
We're not actually dropping it off to the dragon, are we? Per se.
No, contact. He. One of the things that has come from the setting aside whatever wealth dragons may accumulate. On it, he's also running like one of the most successful kind of transport things, charging a fee for every time you use it, the Elf Gates. So he has plenty of contacts and plenty of agents, not both contracted like yourself and dedicated ones. If you think of any kind of like evil mega corporation type thing, Judico, they're talking about me. That's the kind of thing that the dragon would have built up, or Voss would have built up around himself. Travel within system 1d6 plus 2 days. So it figured like you got about a day before you arrive on Castrovel, if there's anything you wish to do. Now, unfortunately, there is a whole really cool downtime system in the game that gives some really fun and useful bonuses. I'm not going to waste time going into that, but I will just mention, this is, Graham, something I'd mentioned before, having played Traveler so much now, seeing what the downtime system is in Starfinder, I'm like, oh, this would be so fucking cool for giving like things for the characters to do and involve themselves with while they're traveling. So anyway, anything you wish to do, Doc could try and take a look at this and see if he can find anything else about it.
I mean, the only thing that would be useful is what gate it belonged to and where it goes to. That's the only thing I can think of that would be...
Yeah.
Does he think he's got any chance of learning that from investigating it?
His whiskers his nose is twitching, his whiskers going around. He says, there's nothing lost in looking, right?
And I could potentially help him with my elven sort of contacts of, like,
the markings and stuff. Yeah, you absolutely could. Yeah, you could aid. Aid in Starfinder is a D10 or is a DC 10. So you need to pick a skill you're going to use and do that as a downtime. Zoe, what do you make of this proposed course of action?
Yeah, don't know. I think his instincts would be to leave it well alone, but we're sort of past that now. It'd be great if it was a skeleton key. Just think it was a skeleton key. That'd be awesome. We just open all of them. But even as it is,
Zeb hits him in the shoulder like, "This is why I like you."
Yeah, he's not suggesting it, but he's put that idea into my head. That's good enough.
I don't know. I don't know that he's got very much. I suppose he's got a mystical air to him.
Yes.
And whether he could, I don't know whether he could reach out to his.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So, and it's a good opportunity to talk about the mysticism skill.
Solarian.
Yeah, so mysticism is sort of lumped in. What was like Arcana and stuff like that is lumped into the one skill, and like religion in other games is lumped in as mysticism. But let me see here. What you can do
just wonder whether he could sort of sense anything supportively.
You could identify, like identifying a magic item or recalling knowledge about that, or disabling a magic item. Like, this is all stuff you would use for mysticism. So let's set, I'm just going to grab my Starfinder Enhanced, because I like the modified difficulty classes in there. So you guys give you context, we do this in Pathfinder 2 quite often as a reminder of what your average difficulty is. So something that is your level 6, is a difficulty class of 22. So DC 22 is what you would need to roll for something around your level. If you'd like to sense anything about it, so you could certainly give us a mysticism check. I think your mysticism is like plus 12, isn't it? And here's the other thing you could do is you can choose, plus 10. You can choose to take a 10 on it by just taking time, or you can take an entire day and take basically a 20 on it, which means you take 20 times as long.
Yeah. If I've got time, I'll do that.
Sure. I mean, you guys will want to be keeping an eye out, traveling the route between, what do you call it? Gosh. You can tell that my mind is Absalom Station. It's only a lot of sessions this weekend. The trip between Absalom Station and Castrovel is really a fairly painless and safe things. You're not going to have to worry about like pirates or any shit like that. So you can take your time with it. Zoe, what I can tell you is that this item, I'll go in reverse order for what you guys are doing, then we'll roll for Zeb and Doc's rolls. This item has a very powerful teleportation element to it. This most definitely is a key. If there's any doubt as to whether this was, you think, I'm trying to think if there's anything else you would know directly about this. It's very, the crafting, whatever was used, whatever skill was used to fabricate this thing, is absolutely lost to the modern era. This is the kind of thing, to be honest, was probably lost thousands of years before the gap anyway. So this has got to be depending on where the gate goes, and depending if the gate is still functioning, because several of the Aidar were destroyed before the gap occurred. But if it's still functioning, this could be a priceless, artifact for the. I mean, the Lashunta also made use of the Aidar because they're on, they're native to Castrovel as well. But it's the elves who fabricated them. Zeb, what were you thinking of using to assist Doc?
Well, I'm seeing how far I can stretch this beam knowledge street rat. Because would there be any rumours surrounding us going to find this item locally or on the internet, as it were? Yeah,
you could try using it. So that actually will be something different. You won't actually just be helping. You'll be getting some other information. So you would be using, think it is diplomacy.
It reduces the DC, but I don't say which.
Yeah.
Skill.
So in Starfinder, diplomacy and gather information are folded together into one skill. So you can just make a diplomacy check, and remember, you get to add your expertise to that. This would be you reaching out to your sort of nefarious friends that you've met over the course of your travels.
Okay. I should do diplomacy.
Wow. And then your expertise dice for 31. Holy shit. All right, so let's say that it's one success for your for making a successful roll, plus another for every 5 points over. So your first line of questioning, what is it? What are you trying to find? Now I'll let you ask 2 follow-up.
We've already ascertained that we think it's a key. So, do we know which key or which portal this key belongs to? And in conjunction with that is where it goes to. That they're the two bits of information I'm trying to find out, if that's possible.
Okay, so first is to see if it belongs to anyone. It doesn't, I mean, it's the seller of the key at the auction was remaining, they were anonymous. So you would have to actually, like, this isn't something you could find out in a day's time. You would need to get someone to hack the, their records to try and find further information about that. It's something you could definitely do, but just not something you have access to as of yet. But it does seem that there are some elven parties, obviously, who are interested in this. And the rumors you're hearing, or at least what your allies are hearing, are there are two groups. One of them is secretive, but fairly well understood by those who are in the know, and the other one is even more secretive, and really all that's known is just like a name and a rough idea of who they are, or at least of what their interests are. The first one, they're called the Rithlin Havar, and I'll put that in chat here for you. Rithlin Havar is an elvish word for Pathfinder. The Rithlin Havar are a group that believe that the Ayudara and the other legacies of the ancient elves are for elves and elves alone. Even before the Gap, Severian was kind of a reclusive continent. Unless you were an elf, you really didn't go there, because they really didn't want visitors. And the Ayudara, the Rithlin Havar, take it to such a degree that they wear ritual masks when around others, because only elves should be fit to see anything elven. So that is one that most definitely you can see why this might appeal to them. There is a second group, and you don't know if they actually refer to themselves as this, but the second group is elven as well. They refer to themselves as the Vindicators. And what you understand them to be, or at least your contacts are, is that they are trying to find who is responsible for the Gap and to make them pay. You would know this from your folk. Other species really cannot appreciate what truly holding a grudge is unless you live for centuries and continue to hold one. And then compound that with a Hatfield and McCoy level of inter-family strife. Put more plainly, like, nobody hates like the elves hate.
Do we actually know who purchased this item before it was stolen?
Oh, it was your employer.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
okay.
You were just recovering it. You guys weren't just stealing something for him. You were recovering lawful property.
So it wasn't one of these two groups that had, bid for it.
You haven't been able to uncover. Whoever the others were, they were middlemen as well.
Okay.
So you have two more questions. If you have anything else you want to try and find.
Is there any rumors of what this portal could be, where it goes to?
As far as you can tell, no. There's no like commonly accepted thing of what this thing was. I will tell you though that it does seem as if both the Rithlin Havar and the Vindicators both seem to be aware of what the thing was.
Right, so they know what it might be used for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, a final thing that would be public, if you wish to ask about this, is who else was bidding for it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, were these guys bidding for it?
You don't know, because they're both hidden kind of behind, corporate shells and whatever else, and middlemen and whatnot. But it is definitely, there were elves who were bidding on this.
But But I assume the dragon's just got ridiculous wealth that he could just outbid everybody.
Yeah. It helps when, you've got...
ransom in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Almost.
Those thermonuclear devices, they don't buy themselves, so... So that is what you've uncovered over the course of your day of making calls and touching base with people. And for Doc, why doesn't Doc give us a culture check, please?
Culture, okay.
And I'm going to drop, because this is relating to xenoarchaeology, his difficulty will actually be 5 less than normal, so that's a huge one. So let me tell you what...
How does Starfinder work with criticals? Is it 10 like 2E or?
No, it isn't like PF2. It's the criticals are only on a 10.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and I think, let me double check something, because it came up in Conan. Conan, you have to confirm criticals, which I actually really like. I've come around from how I use things. I don't remember if you need to confirm crits in Starfinder. I'm just going to look it up here quickly before I forget. We got crits on a 20 with Starfinder. So, but yeah, there's a critical hit, critical successes on it. Sometimes we kind of interpret what it is, but it isn't a default part of like how much better you rolled. Certain things, usually it's amounts of 5 over. If there are extra tiers of additional information, it's however much you get over 5, or however increments of 5 over your target number is what you get. So what Doc tells you is that this is actually, so the Ayudara were part of, the general elven culture. And it was based out of a place called Telesia, the Portal Grove. And that was connected not only to other Ayudara on the planet of Castrovel, on Lost Galarian, but also like the wide worlds beyond. At present... there's the list of different places that it might travel. Ayudara can also be multi-purposed, depending on what your key, so they can also be very versatile and go to different places. But the thing is, the legendary creator is a guy named Candelaron. He was the elven creator of the Ayudara, said to have been taught it by some space angel or space spirit or something. But what is interesting about this key is that this does not seem to be something dating from Candelaron's time. It's not really well widely spoken of because it's a lost culture. But at some point in elven history, there was a group of scholar priests who archaeologists refer to as the Oasia. And I'll put that in here. The Oasia grew tired of the insular and the styad and fractious nature of life in Soverian. So they actually retreated to Ukalam, a untamed and wild. When I say wild on Castrovel, I want you to appreciate how much Soverian itself is full of dangerous plants and terrifying animals and space dinosaurs and all sorts of terrible shit. Ukalam is the Australia of Soverian, of Castrovel, in that many more dangerous animals and much more wild and much more dangerous. But the Oasia are said to have retreated there and built their own communities. And there are some curious things that the Oasians believed. For one, they were interested in studying the stars and traveling to them for purpose of communication. They're said to have tattooed their findings on their very skin. And they're said to have mastered the ability to create additional portals or elf gates. And it's through these like latter day Ayudara that they travel to a number of different planets untouched by the elves of Severian. Their lost city is called Loskialua. Loskialua remains lost to this day. None have found it. None have found the remnants of the Oatians. And the reason for that partly is because the Oatians fractured. Like them, one of the difficulties of being part of a splinter group is if you were already willing to break off from your main culture and form your own society, you're not disinclined to do that again. And so the Oatians ended up fracturing and effectively splintering themselves across. But there was one effort that they made. What's said is in keeping with old traditions, and to avoid, or at least to have an opportunity for all of that knowledge to go on, there were some priest scholars who became sworn swords. The 7 sworn swords, in fact. And those are not metaphorical or figurative, flowery words. These are elves who bound their very spirits into 7 swords that would be brought by the fractured Oatians. And there was therefore ways of bringing them back together if they were able to heal the rifts. Whether that happened or not is lost. No one's found an Oatian sword. No one has found Loskialua, and no one knows what, became of the Oatians, apart from finding some ruins on some very distant worlds. None of those Ayudara are unfortunately functioning, but that is because of a lack of a key. What Doc tells you is that this is something created by the Oatian scholar priests. So do you think, he asks,
do you think he wants to expand his operations? Or is this to prevent competition?
Well, if you've got control, you can do both, surely. In time, at least.
So that is what you guys have uncovered. You can picture you're all kind of, 20 minutes out from Castroval's space. You're comparing notes of what you've learned. What do you guys make of this? And does this affect your plans to travel to... Go ahead.
So we've got a ireful, angry dragon on one side and fanatic elven cultists on the other, and we're in the middle. So it's going to need to be a really good deal.
What do you think? Is that?
Yeah, if it's an auction.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the money.
Yeah, but the dragon thinks it's already theirs, so they're not going to want to trade for it because it's already theirs. We've stolen.
Oh no, but it's only theirs when we give it to them and we receive the money.
Yeah,
that's how trading works in my line of business.
Can you copy these?
you would know that it's the nature of the craftsmanship that went into this is, like I said, completely lost. So you would have,
Never mind. All right.
I mean, even like there might be a way of trying to figure out whatever the mystic connection is, but you would need to have probably the gate itself, the Iodara itself, and because the Iodara do have a physical manifestation as well, but that can vary. In some cases it's like Stonehenge-esque, stone structures with literal gates in them. Some of them are like Torii gates where they're more loosely constructed. Some are natural fortifications that are formed with some kind of, Xenowarden kind of magics. There's the Iodara do have to have some kind of portal component to them in the sense of like a way to passage from one place into another. But apart from that, they can have a variety of different appearances, which is part of the reason of why this Lost Killua is a difficult place to find, because if it can look like almost anything and been disguised as stuff, well, I don't even know what you're looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I mean, once people started using this portal, it's going to be obviously public knowledge. I don't know how anyone's going to compete with a dragon, with resources-wise to be able to...
This is Doc. Unless they don't wish to tell anyone they're doing it.
And they just use it themselves.
I mean,
knowledge, another.
We don't actually know what's on the other side of the gate. It could be something that's lost long ago and is actually universe changing in terms of its power. Could be anything. Could be absolutely anything. So if we were the ones to open the gate and find out, then that would put us in a very interesting position.
Now, that definitely is something of interest, too. Because it seems that Vosk does have further work for you.
Maybe that's it. Get the key. Explore what's on the other side. Maybe with a bounty, with a share of something on the other side.
I would not necessarily say that Doc is, well respected, but he certainly is a very knowledgeable xenoarchaeologist. So that would be certainly an advantage for sending someone with that particularized knowledge along.
I assume this contact we're just meeting, some sort of fairly public building.
You've got like effectively a number that you're going to contact once you get on world. They'll tell you where to meet to make the exchange. You're going to be landing at a place called Kabarat, which is one of the, not the capital, but like one of the city-states of the Lashunta. Let me show you what Kabarat.
Maybe we should go to the meeting, see what they've got to say before we make our final decision. Maybe we can take the money and still get something else from this. Without having to annoy any green dragons.
You will be arriving in Castrovel orbit momentarily.
And they must know we're already here.
Unless you've told them, not necessarily.
Are they not scanning for us?
Well, like Castrovel in general, but like not necessarily one individual. There are like transponders on things, so like they would be able to identify your vessel, but unless they are specifically searching for it, sensors work. So like to get like say detailed information about a region or whatnot, that's one of the downtime activities. So you take a day, do some detailed scans, and then identify stuff. The sensors are not as quick or powerful as in like say Star Trek, but you could achieve a lot of what you could do in Star Trek given time.
Well, maybe we could go to this meeting and over exaggerate the amount of trouble we've had getting hold of this. Seems to be very valuable. Maybe you could tell us a bit more about what it is and see what information they give us and what future work we're going to get, and then make our decision. Don't take it with us to the meeting. Maybe leave Doc here to safeguard it on the ship or something.
You will be needing to turn it over for them.
Oh yeah, but we can arrange that at the meeting if we go ahead with that.
Okay. Okay.
We can say we've had a lot of security issues and we didn't want to bring it to the meeting in case anyone knew about it, and can over-exaggerate all that.
So, anything else you wish to do before you arrive at Kabarat?
Yeah, we'll try and, like you say, arrive as secretly as possible. I mean, you've obviously still got to get permission to land and whatever, I guess. Or ports, but
land in one of the starports. Kabarat also happens to have one of the best. I'll show you in the map actually where this is, because it's not on Severian. It's nowhere near where the dragon has whereas Kabarat is right here.
But we won't ring until we're out of the ship and on our way to the sort of meeting point, in case they can track us, and we won't give them the name of our ship and stuff like that. We'd just try and as
well, they would have
as
the name of
possible.
your ship because they hired you, right? So
Oh yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. So as you're landing, what is the plan here? When do you wish to send the comm connection? Do you do it while you're landing? Do you do it only when you're on the planet? Because Kabarat's like 1 million people in the city, mostly Lashunta, but there are 5% elf, 5% human, 4% Shirin, which are like a bug folk, 4% Yasaki, like Doc, 3% half elf, and then 9% other. Ruled by Lady Morena Kesh. And the quality is academic, cultured, and a financial center. It is very busy. This is the New York or London of Castrobel. Only flying dinosaurs also.
Okay, I guess we'll have to contact them as we're getting close to landing, so we've got an idea of where to land to be closer to the rendezvous point, I guess.
You'll be able to get around. There are public services for public transport. You'll be able to set up some kind of accommodations for yourself if you don't want to stay on the ship. If you send the message while landing, you're very quickly given a place to meet this evening. And you need not make any rolls for it. It is it seems like it's a part of Kabarat that seems to have fallen out of fashion. So it'll be a nice place, but not a place with a lot of foot traffic. It is more of a... As far as, slightly off the beaten path things are concerned for Kabarat, this is not the, down a back alley, knock on a door kind of stuff, but it's not a place where there's likely to be a lot of looky-loos. It's not a hot spot where you're going to lose yourself in a crowd or lose track of who might be watching you. But it's not a seedy dive either. There's a message as well. You have the package.
I think we'll confirm we've got it. We've had a lot of problems retrieving it. There seems to be a lot of interest.
Keep it safe. Bring it with you. See you this evening. And it is signed someone named Jartael. You need not make any rolls, Zeb. That is definitely an elven name.
Okay.
Now, there are, some may call them in our world Quislings, but there are elves who work for the Green Dragon, seeing it to be easier to ally themselves to get access to the Iodar than not have them whatsoever. But with you arriving on Kabarat, we're already past our mid-session time, so why don't we take our mid-session break right now? and then we'll come back and see what awaits you at the meeting and how you choose to prepare for said meeting. You're going to be free, incidentally, just for as far as planning is concerned. You can carry weaponry with you. It will not be, the place you're going is not the place where you're going to be able to, yeah, and with Zoe, it's very difficult to take it away from you. So, but yeah, so for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes, and then we'll see what happens next. All right. So, hi, everyone in chat. Hope, hey, Happy New Year's Eve to you too, THX. Hope you're doing well. Shems, Starfinder setting is the future of Pathfinder. Yeah, it is. It is sort of a, like they haven't had anything that's crossed over between the two, but the assumption of the setting is that this is the future of Golarion, the planet that is the setting for Pathfinder, and then many of the different planets, including Caspervel, where we're going on this adventure, that's actually dealt with in the Pathfinder setting as well, with many similarities. There aren't any, as far as I know, Yeah, there's even crossover like of different gods that date from the Pathfinder time into the future. So yeah, that is definitely that. And John, Dangerous Journeys when? Never. We don't have any plans to get Dangerous Journeys back to the table. So sorry. I know that you enjoyed it. Well, I talked about Dangerous Journeys on the stream on earlier this week, about 13 games, but it's just yeah. No plans as of yet. It's a great game. I enjoyed my time with it, definitely. And if that may change in future, but we have no firm plans to get Dangerous Journeys back. Okay. So let me actually, while we're doing this, I will set up the other stuff I need here. I tell you, Darren, you're taking to playing a rogue pretty quickly here. So...
Don't know what you're saying.
Okay. There's this. And we have one more setup here. Here we go. All right, so what are you guys thinking as far as how you wish to approach this meet? Are you bringing the package with you, or are you going to conceal it somehow?
I was thinking maybe Doc could have it just outside, wherever we go in, just sort of literally across the street almost.
Yeah.
Just in case anything goes wrong and we need to do a bit of negotiating, or we want to change our ideas or plans.
Don't really want to get it out of my sight.
Yeah. Well, like I say,
Doc's a lovely fella, but
So you want to hide it upon your personage, dear?
Yeah, I think so.
Rather.
I'm just checking the duration. I know Doc has the invisibility spell. So he's a tech. So a technomancer is the Starfinder version of a mage, and yeah, he has. I was trying to see what the duration is.
Yeah.
Only about 6 minutes. 6 minutes of invisibility he can gain access to. He can cast it like 4 times. He also has an ability, he can cast Disguise Self, which will make him look like someone else. And he's got a thing called a Spell Capacitor. If he puts it in there, it has a duration of 24 hours. So if you wish him to disguise himself as someone else, it won't conceal the package necessarily, but you could use any combination of those two things. I'm just going to see if there's any other... He doesn't have any other spell that is specifically useful.
This thing's quite big though, isn't it? It's quite
yeah, it's kind of like, briefcase MacGuffin sized thing, but a little thicker, probably, because of the padding and whatnot.
Well, do we want Doc to try and do the invisible thing, or change, or do you prefer to hide it amongst us, or carry it yourself?
Maybe stay with Doc, and if the need arises for short bursts of time, use the invisibility to basically remove it from sight if we are in trouble. You'll
be in comm unit contact the entire time as well. So you guys can have earbud type things and be in contact with one another and hear what's going on. So you can
What's your plan though to keep it from the dragon?
It's not necessarily to keep it from the dragon. It's just to make sure, what's our future work? What does it involve? Is it some sort of exploration of this place? Could we try and use it as a bit of leverage to get us in on that?
Marketing tool. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, just not withhold it completely, but just make sure that we're not getting done over, basically, and doing all the dirty work and not getting the full extent of the rewards, maybe.
Okay. Where do you wish to stay here too? Are you thinking nicer? Are you staying on the ship? Are you finding a local motel, something fancier? What are you thinking? You certainly have the funds to afford either. So if I'm going to have a bunch of goons kick down doors, I'd like to know how nice those doors are first.
Well, yeah. I was wondering if it doesn't go quite to plan, if we'd be getting straight back on the ship, but
it'd be a shame to lose it now, wouldn't it?
yeah.
He's here laughing.
I think, we'll celebrate with some nice accommodation after we've handed it over and we've had some sort of financial reward. Otherwise, we'll be
That's the sensible thing to do.
So staying at the starport for the time being. All right.
Yeah.
So evening comes.
Awesome, but sensible.
And allow you to bring you to New Garden. One of the neighborhoods. A little passe now. There still is some nice places you can find if need be. Would you like Doc to disguise himself as anyone? Or is he just going to go as his normal Yasaki self? He's pretty good. He's got a stealth plus 11, so he's pretty good at being, unobtrusive as well.
But you say he's quite well known?
In archaeological spheres, I think. Not necessarily, widely. He's not.
Here.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any need for it then, is there? Nah. Not yet, anyway.
All right. So you guys you want to take a hire car or a hire hover car, or are you taking public transit, or are you going to try and rent something to get around, hover bikes or ground bikes?
Probably just the one vehicle would do us, wouldn't it? If we just hire a vehicle, maybe, just for the three of us.
Yeah.
Like a car of some sort of description.
Okay. So you'll be able to find parking elsewhere. There is public transit as well, too, that's quite good. So if you want to take the equivalent of, space subway, you can do that to get around as well and not be walking.
I think we'll leave it under our own sort of terms so that we've got more control.
I have a car chase on my fucking to-do list. We are goddamn getting to it. So... So where would you like to... Zeb, incidentally, is I believe, the most gifted pilot. Yeah, your piloting skill is easily better than anyone else's. So you are, if things go sideways, either here or on the ship, Zeb is going to be your pilot, probably. Doc will be your engineer, and Zoe, there are guns that need manning. So how do you wish to... set yourselves up? Are you dropping Doc off a couple of blocks away so he can walk over and take up position?
Yeah, we'll just separate a couple of blocks back, and he can just... We'll let him go ahead, get in position, make sure he looks... we just glance, make sure he looks in a good spot, and then just carry on into the meeting.
Let's take a look here. Is plus 12. Yeah, he's got an amazing hiding spot. From where he's got his electro binoculars, and then where are you parking are you thinking just a parkade a couple of blocks away, or?
Yeah, what is it, sort of, 5-10 minute walk?
Yeah, we don't want to announce our entry, that's right, yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, how have you guys, are you dressed like you would be on the ship at any time? Are you making any special effort? So I know you've got your kind of religious accoutrement. That you, or whatever you've been wearing, or are you guys trying to make yourself blend it all to the folks that are here?
I'm gonna look like I normally do if I was on my ship.
Okay.
As if I'd literally just got off of the ship and come straight here, almost.
Okay.
Yeah, I shall wear my number 3 Solarian robe.
Okay.
Number 3.
So as you guys,
editions.
Nice. So as you guys are making your way down, you're not drawing any eyes, and it's as you expected. Like the streets there are people here, but it's not by any means a busy place. It is nighttime, but there is the glow in here too, the urban glare that allows though there are shadows that are cast here in the streets themselves. There's bright light, so it's very easy to see anything. When you step inside, you find nearly empty place. This appears to be a Sheeran restaurant, which means it's going to have food that typically was made for one of the many insectoid species in here, but you hear, at least from the space equivalent of Yelp, that the meal is more of a fusion with Castrovellan stuff, so it'll be whatever, not pescatarian, but whatever eating bugs is. That will be the vegetarian entree that's on here. There are a smell of spices that hits as you go in, and there are a couple of people in here that are sitting at tables, but very far away, very spread away from one another. And it's at one of those booths on the left that you can see there is a person sitting on their own who looks like this. Now, would each of you kindly give us a perception check? Oh, you each got Astonishing Fortune as well, too. So I don't think you've used any of your rerolls yet, have you? No. So, Zeb, you're looking around in here, and you can see there are one or two people who seem to have, they're definitely wearing heavier suits than what you are. The kind of thing where you can, without a touch, it'll be a much more heavily armored thing. But, you wouldn't expect any agent of a dragon to show up without, backup.
Yeah, which is fine.
But Zoe, there's something off about them. You're looking at, you can see them, and there's definitely... There's something off about the appearance of them.
Right.
And it could be that they're using some kind of hologram technology to conceal themselves. They might be using magic to disguise themselves, similar to what Doc can do. But there's just something definitely off about those guards. There are at least... the person sits on their own, or the elf sits on their own. The other four, you can't, they're spread kind of throughout the bar. None of you are soldiers or soldiers or whatnot, but you certainly know a killing ground when you go into one, and they seem to have set up a place where they've got good angles from each place leading to this table, and could very easily block off what are the obvious escapes.
Okay. Seb, I don't like it. I don't like what I'm seeing here. I don't think we should abort, but maybe you should do the talking, and I'm going to not go into that zone. I'm going to split off, and I'm going to position myself on the flank, probably right next to one of these innocent guard types.
Okay.
Sounds good. Keep comms open.
Yeah.
So, Zoe...
and Zeb, you may want to just find your own, in your own inimitable style, maybe just check in with our envoy, just to make sure that what I'm discovering is what he's expecting.
What, Doc is?
No, as in...
Oh, you mean on with this guy for Jartel. Doc also has the text messaging open to you, so you're gonna be able to communicate back and forth.
Okay. I'll let him know that something is amiss and that there's some goons in here that don't seem to add up to what we were expecting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So Zeb, you look what you were expecting, obviously, like any self-respecting agent would definitely go in a place that they've got secured. But when Zoe mentions it, you look back at these and you don't necessarily, you're not seeing what Zoe is seeing, but you trust his judgment, certainly. So how are you trying to like literally like sidle up next to one of these guys, or are you just trying to like be in a place where you can see one of them, but outside of kind of the, you know, the kill box, as it were?
I think he's more confident than that. I think he won't address one, but he'll stand up to one and look at him directly and just give him a through my mask, so he wouldn't know, a wolfish grin.
Okay. Your eyes, you can tell from the sparkle in your jet black eyes.
Yeah, and I'll fold at least one set of my arms.
Okay. Nice. So why don't you give us an intimidate check? So
yeah, I've got no idea. I'm just doing the thing without knowing whether I'm any good at it. Okay, I'm all right. Let's give it.
That's, I think, honestly, the perfect way to play games like this is just to sit clear what you want to do and then figure out how it works and the mechanics afterwards. There are games where like coming in with a mastery ahead of time is helpful. This is not. This is D&D chassis.
Can I buff that at all?
Yeah, you can spend a point of astonishing fortune to re-roll if you like.
I will.
I think you rolled. You got a what? +9. That's an 8 you rolled.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
It's unlikely to be good enough, I think.
Yeah, let's see if we can get better than that. Then let's give it another go.
Nice. All right. So you sidle up, and the person sort of shifts in their shifts in their armor. You can see like their whatever badass kind of pose they thought they're making for you. Now that you're up close to, you realize that they are fully masked as well.
They are
fully masked.
Right.
You cannot see their faces.
Okay.
Zeb, as you tell us what happens as you saunter over to join this elf at the table.
I'll be as super laid back and casual as I can get away with. Considering the situation, like I'm going to meet the lads down the pub, sort of. Yeah, just.
Why don't you give us a bluff check too? Let's see what the baseline.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And that, I believe, is one of the ones you can do your envoy. It's like 29, and go ahead and give us your insight roll.
Expertise as well.
Yeah.
Oof.
So 35. Yeah, no one would think there is. It's exactly as you described. You just casually sit down, and the elf looks at you, and Captain Zebayana, Captain Lomanov, I guess you would call you.
Okay. It seems we got involved in something not quite what we expected. And I look around the room as well. Are you expecting trouble? And I specifically look at these goons around the room.
Our master prefers to prepare for contingencies, for his safety, the safety of his interests and those of his agents. You are safe here, Captain Lomanov.
It doesn't give the welcoming feel that we were expecting.
I think perhaps if your full crew had arrived, the welcome might have been more open. I don't see Dr. Napak with you. Nor do I see the package that my master had engaged you to retrieve.
Well, yes, I did want to just discuss that very matter before the handing over. Would you be able to maybe give us some more information on what this package is? It's caused us quite a lot of trouble getting hold of this.
trouble for which you were well compensated? Or
Well,
do you feel that the terms were unfair? If so, I can communicate that to my master.
well, I'm just hoping that we are being rewarded. Well, adequately rewarded. That there was talk of further work, and I was interested in what that may entail.
Further work is contingent on successful completion of what you have done or been contracted for. Would you give us a sense motive, Zeb?
Well, that's not very good.
You want to start your fortune then?
Yeah, I'm going to re-roll that one. Oof.
Nat
that's
1.
Horrible.
Okay. So, as far as you know, yeah,
11.
nothing. So, he says, you have the package then?
Oh, we have it.
Then perhaps we could speak clearly so I can communicate it clearly to my master. What is it you are saying? Are you saying that you will no longer honor the terms of your contract and deliver the package?
Well, it just seems to be a lot of interest from other parties. That maybe this is more valuable than we were first thought when we negotiated the price.
If you wish me to bring a message back to the High Transiarch that you wish to extort further payment for him, I will deliver that message. If that's what your intent is.
Extort, such an ugly word.
Oh, the High Transiarch would agree with that. Certainly not the kind of thing bandied about between friends. Now, Zoe, you can overhear all this. You can give us a sense motive check as well. It's going to be a higher difficulty class for you just because you're not able to read body language and whatnot, but you're overhearing this at least. That one as well. Love it. Now, it says in Savage World, you could spend Astonishing Fortune and re-roll that if you like. I'm trying to remember how.
I don't know. I think a 1. I think a 1 should stand.
Okay. So then, this elf folds his hands, leans in. What would you like me to communicate to the High Transiarch, Captain Lomanov?
Well, we're very interested in further work. Your master. Is there any way you can guarantee the extra work, or are we going to just be disregarded after doing this very dangerous job? I feel like we've got targets on our backs, even after this delivery.
Oh, what would make you... This is truly something that you can handle, though, is it not? Is this not why you were commissioned?
Well, that is our jobs. But if it's just a one and done mission, then I feel the risk maybe outweighs the reward.
You can see a text message comes in from Doc. There's someone searching the streets.
I assume for him.
They ain't gonna find me, he says.
Well, it'll be them. It'll be them trying to just hoover up. They'll have assumed by now that we're going to double cross them, and they will be looking to secure the package as quickly as possible. I think. I could be wrong.
It's then, Zeb, as you're deciding how best to respond, that a message comes in from an unknown source.
Oh. Cool.
And what it simply says is, can you read Draconic? or sorry, can you speak Draconic? And you can, Zeb.
Yeah, I'll say yep.
Jartail looks at you. Yep. You realize you've answered out loud for a text message.
Oh, okay.
Did you mean to say that you were going to reply in subtle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a very quick reply.
A message comes through in Draconic. Same source. Activate your comm unit internal only. And you can do that. It's just the earbud to take a call on the inside.
All right, to receive something.
Jartel leans forward and says, then, do we have an accord? And you're waiting to respond to this text message.
So I'm gonna stand up and sort of do a bit of a sort of summon it up, and I'll turn on the thing while I'm doing this.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna pace back and forward a couple of spaces as if I'm sort of weighing it all up.
Yeah.
Trying to delay to get
so
this
you
message.
can see the guy next to you kind of tenses up when Zeb gets
That's
up.
right.
It seems to like all the other ones are. And the message comes in. And you can hear a voice on the other end of the line. And they are speaking in Draconic. Only Zeb, you're taking this call right now.
Is it correct? You speak our tongue. Nod. If you nod for the affirmative.
And I'll continue to sort of, and I'll sort of try and gesture it as I'm.
I do not know who you meet with right now, but my agent was killed. And someone has come in their place. I trust, Captain. You know who you speak to.
What was his name? The dragon?
Urvosk, the High
Urvosk.
Transiarch. I'll put it in the chat, sorry. Again, I know we all went to high school with an Urvosk, but there you go. In the event that this Urvosk is spelled differently.
Oh, right. Are you then?
Yeah.
Got that wrong.
Oh, not like Urvosk O'Brien. Right. No,
Right.
Yeah.
Oops. I say. I don't, because I'm not heard this.
So I will just I'll just say something in my walking back and forwards. I wonder what Urvosk would think of this. Maybe
Jojo
I
looks
should
over.
speak to him. Maybe I should speak to him, and I'm just talking to myself, sort of thing.
There is a safe house near the harbor. You and your crew. I trust you can reach there with my package.
Everything all right there, Zeb? I see.
And Jartail looks up and says, Captain, my master does not enjoy waiting. You speak of further work with him.
Yes, I think we should. I think we should arrange a meeting with him. I think this is.
The tack message of Doc says, what's going on, Zeb?
I'll reply to him. Things are going to get ugly. Be ready to move towards the docks.
Okay. So, Zoe, I'm assuming you're on this sort of text chain as well.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And I'll say get the car, because he can obviously drive it
Yeah.
well enough to get it to here.
Definitely. Yeah. And there's autopilot degrees on these things too.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
So he says, I'm on the move in his text message.
And I'll go back to sort of general communication, so Zozum's, hearing everything again, and just in case.
So the voice on the other end of the line says,
If you distrust me,
try speaking this tongue to them. And you think about it, and like from what you've read, yeah, there's no Draconic is not it's not a rare tongue, but like it's just not a thing that a lot of folks would necessarily spend the time to learn unless you're on certain other worlds. But agents of Urvosk
would have to speak it
for sure. Would pick that up. Yeah.
Does Zozum speak it?
Zozum does not actually. Not Draconic. Okay. You guys do have a common tongue, though. You all speak Drow.
Oh yeah, no, I was going to say something and sort of kill two birds with one stone type thing, but
if you wish to speak something, Drow is a very rare tongue too. So it would be like very heavily accented and even like with a lot of colloquialism, Elvish. So even Elvish casual Elven listeners would not necessarily understand what you're saying.
No, I'll test the Draconic on this guy.
Okay.
I'll just say, let's speak to your master and see what his response is.
And he locks eyes with you, and there's like a bit of a twitch in his eye. And he simply says out loud in Elven, which you understand, which... Zoe, do you speak Elven? You do not.
No.
Doc does. Simply says you can hear, take them. And why don't you guys go ahead and, I don't know. Oh, this is not, you will need to click on your token and then click on initiative. But shit is about to kick off here.
So, I was going to say, is it too late for combat meditation? Perhaps it is.
Combat meditation is something, remember, that you need to be in combat in order for you to start attuning. In order for you to take advantage of the those things, you need to be to have the life and death struggle that comes with combat. Okay. At least that's the way they explain why you don't get to do it.
What else?
Okay. So Chartael gets a 13. Which would be 14 with his dex, and then let me give you the hologram disguises on the various members of this guy's retinue fall, and let me show you. There are 4 of these. Just grab stats. Yeah. You need not look. These are armor of elven design, Zeb, and you can't help but notice that their masks completely cover their face. These may be members of the Rithlin Havar who have come to take this artifact. And here we go. Where are we? Okay. Just going to set up tokens. So you guys have stamina points, but NPCs, just for your edification, NPCs do not. So one of the things I do really like about Starfinder is the adversaries that you face are built with a completely different set of rules from characters. They're designed to be disposable, adversaries or impediments to your successes, not fully fleshed characters. So it's kind of interesting that you got character creation that is very much like 3.5, but then you've got monster creation that's much closer to like 4th edition, where they have a completely different set of rules. Man, yeah, here we go. There are 4 of these guys, and I think you can see. Look at that! Someone was on the ball here. You guys can see the bars, but not the numbers. Is that right? Yeah, I see a nod. Okay, great. Awesome. Yep. Okay. So there are 4 of them at different places in the bar. And nat 1 for their initiative. So I'm going to copy one of these guys. Actually, here, I'm going to put him up here and make him small so I don't accidentally... You know how many times I accidentally deleted my initiative tracker last night? Oh, man. All right. So then, Zoe, you are first up. You can tell that things are going the way that they're pulling out kind of like expandable swords that have like an electric charge on them. So you know that they're going to be causing trouble right away. You're up first. First thing that happens is, and maybe the easiest way to track your attunement is because you're solar. Why don't we do that?
Okay.
You cap out at 3. So what would you like to do? You have a standard action, you have a move action, you have a swift action.
For my standard action,
Yep.
I will solar blade the one that I've been intimidating.
So as a move action, you'll need to form your solar weapon.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
do that.
what does it look like as your mote forms into a weapon, and what does your weapon look like?
Okay. So it's actually it's like a thinnish. It's only a very thin, deceptively thin, crystalline-like structure. Suddenly starts to sort of coalesce and build up from the hilt, but then it's infused within by what is a very powerful hearth fire that sort of runs up and down it.
Okay. Love it. So that's active. You don't need to move because this guy is adjacent to you. You position yourself.
Is that a melee strike?
Yeah, and so because you are in photon mode, you got +2 to damage.
Right.
So go ahead and your solar weapon. If you go to the those buttons about halfway down the screen, the leftmost of those will be attacks, and you got your solar weapon listed there.
We've got basic attack. Is that what I want to do?
No. Underneath basic attack, you see there's those 4 buttons. You can click on the leftmost button will give you your attacks.
Oh, so there it is. There it is. Any other modifiers?
Let me think here. No, because he's flat-footed, but that'll adjust his armor class.
Okay. Yep. Go.
That is a 7. You want to astonishing fortune that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I do it again?
Yes, please do.
Okay.
Same thing with no modifiers.
No modifiers. Go.
Come on, big money. That is a solid hit and 19 points of damage. No, 21 points of damage because you got in photon mode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this thing appears with a single stroke. One of them is down.
Right.
And then it is Zeb's turn. Oh, no, actually, it's Jartael's turn. Right. All right.
I leave a huge hole in the bar as well. It goes through him straight into the bar.
Yeah.
Smoking.
You hear him cry out. All right, so he...
2.
Oh. This will be interesting. Let's see. So I was going to set out the cards for all the spells, too. That didn't happen. And there it is. So you hear Jartael speak words. You don't know what he's saying, but you recognize when a spell is being cast as you've heard Doc do it many, many times. And as he does so, there is a nimbus of like St. Elmo's fire that forms around his hand, and he leaps forward to try and touch you. You know, you probably don't want that to happen. What is your EAC? Oh, so there are 2 armor classes. EAC is your energy armor class. KAC is your kinetic armor class.
Mine's the same. It's 20 for both.
20 for both. Okay. So then I need a I need a 15 to actually hit you. Let's see. 18. So leaps forward and discharges this on you. Ooh, okay. Let's roll damage in chat. You take... Nope, that is not dice. How about I put a D in there? 4 F6. Only 8 points of damage, though. And
hey.
So, Zeb, that comes off of your stamina, so your blue bar first. You kind of pull out of the way as the full effect of that, and then Jartel will stand with the rest of his action. Then, Zeb, it is your turn. What are you doing?
Okay, so I think... Can I tell from these 3 remaining ones who's sort of got a bead on me and who's got a bead on
There's probably 2 that have a bead on you, and then 1 that will be likely trying to fire at Zoe.
So I'm going to try... well, I'm not going to try. I'm going to use Not In Your Face on one of these.
Okay, that's your move action. Nice.
Yeah. I just...
So
one of them. Doesn't matter. And I'm going to use a resolve point, so it's automatic.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. And then...
just means I don't get a saving throw.
Oh, yes, that's awesome. Okay, so they got -4 to hit you. And then as a standard action, what would you like to do?
Because I can't draw my weapon.
Yeah, because you need to move. It's a move action to do that, and you can sub in a move action for a standard action.
Yes, I guess I'll just get my weapon ready.
Okay. Which one? Your attack knife or your sidearm?
I think I would use the sidearms, probably a bit more versatile.
Okay. Then it is these guys. So the 2 that have got a beat on you, Zeb. They shoulder rifles, and they have a look of definitely they're Castrovel, and there's like a picture like a cross. You know what a Jasail is? The sort of like Afghani rifles with all the like designs and stuff that are on them. Picture that, but a sci-fi weapon. So like a Star Wars blaster, but with all this extra like designs on it. So clearly something that's been carefully and lovingly designed. Lots of elven stuff on it. They use, at least one of them, a very unkind slur for a drow as they are taking aim. And the one that is suffering the penalty fires first. So 19, so narrowly misses you. And then the second one that is not suffering the penalty. Fucking hell. 23. They managed to actually hit. And you take 3 points of damage, so it's 3 off your stamina. And then Zoe, the one that's facing you, it says something in Elven that you don't understand, but most definitely is not friendly.
Is it some sort of question as to my ancestry or something?
There is definitely something of that. Something
confidently
something
asserted, but completely wrong.
Yeah. You've heard Zeb say something similar when she stubs her toe, so it's not. So this thing steps forward and tries to get you. That's an 18 I rolled, which I don't think is good enough.
19 is my armor class,
nice. I think. So yeah, he swings. KAC is what I'm targeting. Swings this charged sword at you. You batter it aside with your shouldered blade, and then Zoe, it is your turn. What are you doing?
I will take this one down, I think.
Go right ahead. So first off, your attunement is 2 now.
Oh, okay. Right. On your turn, without spending an action, to gain the benefit of the mode Stellar Revelation, another based.
Yes, you could spend the 2 to take make an attack and use the Stellar Revelation, but if you do your burst, it'll catch Zeb in it as well.
In which case, I will focus on trying to take this one out.
Yep.
Quickly as possible. I'll have a go.
If you don't have it, so here's 2 options you could do. Multiple attacks in Starfinder are not gated behind levels. You just make a full attack. You take, I think it's -4 for each attack. That's a full round action. Alternatively, you could use a move action to, say, focus your gravitic shield. And that would give you a DR damage reduction 2 until the end of your turn. Even though it's a gravity focus one, you can still use it. It just means because you're not gravity attuned, that you're not gonna. It won't persist past the 1 round. So do you take move action to get that up and then do 1 attack, or do you do 2 attacks at -4?
I will do the former.
Okay.
And do the shield thing. I suppose focus this round on trying to take this one out and still be active, so I can support Zeb.
What do you think your dark matter shield looks like?
It's just like a swirling vortex. It's like a swirling vortex. It's like heavy thunder clouds, thinly applied, that just swirl in like a vortex.
Nice. And then
I will
go ahead and make
go
your
for the
attack.
solar weapon, I guess.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Come on, big money.
Wait, sorry. This is the input thing. The input thing is hidden under too many windows. Submit.
That is, again, a solid hit. 19 plus 2 for your...
21 again.
Yeah. All right. Then it is...
Lots of arms going everywhere.
Yeah. You know what? You could, if you... Oh, you use your move action to do something different. I was saying, you can draw weapons too, right? So you could have your side arms out and your extra arms. So then it is your tail's turn. So he sees you having Zoe having caught down 2 things. So he turns and says another arcane, or he starts invoking another arcane spell. And over the course of a second, there is 1, then 2, then 3 motes of power that form.
Is that targeted at Zeb?
It is targeted at Zoe. At you.
Okay.
And this is something that it's not a range attack. This one is going out. George is not feeling well today, so was not able to join us. But for George, it would not be a session without casting Magic Missile at some point. So
right. So my spell guard would not apply.
No, unfortunately not, because there's not a saving throw against this.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, but then this, and also your deflection, unfortunately, you could not use because it's not an attack.
Sure.
But with your solar weapon out, this is, if someone attacks you, like if one of these other guys shoots you, you could in theory redirect it if they miss you.
Okay.
You would need to be fighting defensively or go full defense in order to do so. But
I've not done so.
That is for next turn. Fighting defensively is a tactic, not an action, by the by. So it's not something, So anyway, but he forms this. These go at you. Okay. Zoe, you are hit 4.
Right. How do I do this?
12 points of damage. That'll come off your blue bar, your stamina.
Can I do it from the sheet?
You can do it from the sheet, or you can do it from the token.
Try this. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then it is... so the Jortail Cat used his full action to cast that spell. Zeb, what are you doing?
I'm going to shoot one of the guys I've got here with me.
Okay.
I've just seen what I want to do with my move action.
It's quite an old-fashioned way to go about things, but I think it's probably right.
Yeah, you can keep it old school.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and intimidate him first.
Oh, nice.
With my improved...
With your demoralize?
Yep.
Yeah. You speak Elven, so if you wish to respond to their slur with some terrifying threat.
Or just something about their mothers.
That does seem more appropriate for how you're playing this character.
Oh.
So go ahead and give us a intimidate check.
Just the skill.
Difficulty here is going to be a 16.
16.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Wow.
All right. So they are demoralized, which is... Where's my GM screen?
That's not a 20, is it?
No, it would be...
no.
Massive,
that's 16. What are you about?
Yeah,
It's Pathfinder, isn't it?
He is very trained in certain of his skills, or her skills.
Nice.
Here we go.
Does it affect more than one person, does it?
With that roll, absolutely it does.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
I guess it'd be the two that are next to me then, or close to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And... Where? I think he's shaken then. So -2 to ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws, and skill checks. So you say that, and the two of them kind of falter for a moment. What are you doing with your standard action?
I'm just going to take a shot.
Go right ahead.
It's that one there. Oof. That's rubbish.
Would you like to Astonishing Fortune that?
So how many have we
You
got?
started with 2, you got 2 at the break, and you only spent, I think, 2 so far. So
Okay, yeah, I will do then. So
16 is good enough.
Yeah, nice.
So there we go.
I've got one
And
left.
then it is their turn. All right, so one of them is going to fire at you, Zeb, even though he's demoralized. So I need a 17 to hit you. That 9 is not going to do it. So they fire once or twice at you, but they're firing wildly. You can see like stuff in the where their blasts hit. Stuff in the bar is exploding, or in the cantina. Bug and vegetable dishes are scattered across the room. The other is going to take aim at you, Zoe. Still demoralized, so I need a 16 to hit you. 14 is not going to do it. Then it is Zoe's turn. What are you doing, Zoe?
Okay, it's time to wade in. I think.
So I think they're at probably at the far end of the bar. Jartail's in the middle, and then Zeb is next to him.
Oh, it's Jartail then I'll go for.
Yeah. Go after him?
Okay, I'll go after him.
So we have
What can
move
I
action
do?
to get in there.
Yes.
Which would, I mean, you don't necessarily need to, but as a free action, you could draw one or more of your guns at the same time.
I think I'd need to, yeah.
Okay, so guns are out as you race in with that sword in your other hand. And then what do you do? Would you like to attack him?
I think it's make an attack.
Oh, by the way, also, you are fully attuned right now.
Oh, right.
Blazing with power.
I'm not sure what I can. Let me just quick.
So actually, you know what you could do? Because of your distant burst, you've got up to 40 feet away where you can manifest your supernova. As a standard action, deal 7d6 fire damage to all targets within 10 feet. Now, normally you need to do it within 10 feet of you, but because of your distant burst ability, you can manifest that photon power. And when you do it as a stellar revelation, that does not require you to discharge any of your attunement. You can stay fully attuned.
I'll do that then.
Okay. So, if you move in, is it targeting, I guess, those other 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So I get a DC 16 reflex save against that.
Okay.
I need a 13 or higher to succeed. Both are fails. Would you give us a 7d6 roll, please?
Jesus.
What does it look like as a Woof, you with a gesture with your empty hand, it explodes. This dim diner is cast in the light of day for a brief second as your supernova manifests, consuming the 2 of them.
I think, could I manage to do that while almost focusing on Jartail? And so almost just like dismissively explode the other 2.
Oh, yeah.
And look straight at him and say, it's getting really hot in here.
That's all right. So then it is Jartail's turn. He realizes what he's dealing with now, and as a standard action, he gestures again, powers up that charge that you got stuck with earlier, Zeb, and then he gestures at the window. And it blows open. Zoe, you will get an attack of opportunity on him with your sword as he's going to try and leap through the window to get away from you.
Gotcha. Okay, it's that one. No, it's not. It's that one.
Yeah,
It's
just
that one.
use your solar weapon.
I miss.
Ooh, let's see here.
Awesome.
They're low level, so like DCs are kind of low. That it misses by 1.
Right.
You could spend Astonishing Fortune to re-roll if you'd like, or let him.
What time have we got?
I think you've only used, I think, 2 as well.
I've used 2.
Yeah,
I've
so you
used
got 2 left.
Okay, in which case I will use 1. I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll try one. Let's go. Let's go with another go.
Come on.
Submit.
Ah! So close.
My goodness! Wow.
So it is. You kind of carve like the bottom end of his coat as he leaps through and dives outside. And I think with that, why don't we? Oh, I'm going to screw up the initiative. If I do this, let's do this. This is an easier one. Rather than bringing you over to a new page, why don't I just bring us outside by dropping a new image in here.
Do you not get any bonuses to attack?
I don't know. I got nothing there. It was.
Wait,
I just rolled a 4.
What happened? Did it not calculate properly?
Well, no,
seems-
I weren't sure what the bonus is because I thought you had like +8 or something. Or...
Yeah, I've got.
Silly.
I just rolled a 4 plus 0 plus 0.
Oh, hold on. That's not. Yeah, neither of those is rolling properly. Hold on.
No.
I think I set up your.
Is that me? Is that me?
No. That'll be that'll be my
The
fault
sheet?
Yeah, we set up. Let me double check here. What's
Because
going on?
mine's got bonuses.
Attack details.
I've got a melee.
No, I'm a fucking dummy. Hold on. That should be +10. So.
Okay.
Fucking Bush League DM.
Okay,
my
so
goodness.
23 on the first one.
Now hold on. You also have +1 because you have a situational modifier for that because of your your weapon focus in it. You have +11. So you still have your astonishing fortune.
Okay.
Because your Star Master is a moron. That first roll would have been a 24.
Yeah.
So that definitely was a hit.
That's gonna hit. Yeah.
So that's 15, 16, 17 points of damage. You definitely got a piece of him as he jumped out the window. But he has unfortunately leapt outside. Then, Zeb, your turn. What are you doing? Your eyes are adjusting once again now that the supernova has gone down.
Zoe's the only one that can like incapacitate or whatever with his
Stun,
attacks.
if he's using, he can always choose
stun.
to use his solar weapon in a stun mode.
Can I do that with a gun or not?
Your weapon is a projectile weapon, so it is very difficult to use a steel-jacketed round on stun.
Well, they did it in Star Wars. That was the only reason I was asking.
Oh yeah, no, that's a very good point. No, there's different varieties of weapons in it, and there are like stun weapons you can have, which is a good reason to carry them around. But in this case, yeah, no, it's So what you could do is, if you want to move, you could like try and chase him and then make an attack, or you could just fire from where you are with 1 shot or 2 shots at -4 each.
I'm gonna try a move and grapple. Can I do that?
Yeah,
'Cause that's a
heck yeah.
maneuver.
Good.
isn't it? So
Yeah,
Grab him.
so he is entitled to. Well, he's not armed, so he can't do attack of opportunity on you. But yeah, you move outside and then grapple. Love me some grappling rules. You know what has really good grappling rules? Conan. Conan. There's a maneuver in it, Graham. You may not remember this, but there's a maneuver called Human Shield, where you grab someone, so you're grappling them, and if someone else attacks you, you basically position them in the way, and if you make a successful parry, they take the damage instead of you.
Nice.
That's so good. Okay. Let's see here. Grapple.
it says on the sheet here, if result is KAC +13, I'll pinned instead. It doesn't say.
Oh yeah, that's if you pin. So it's KAC at targets. Oh yeah, that cheat sheet is so fucking good.
It's to hold the person in place. Is it the KAC you use?
Yeah, KAC is what you always would target with that. So let me see here. Why am I having such a hard time finding
Is it a basic melee then
I
instead?
think so. Yeah. So can you roll basic melee from the sheet?
Yeah, there is a basic melee, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so go ahead and roll that.
Yeah, roll melee attack plus attack mod.
Yeah. KAC
so
is
that's
14 for this
melee.
guy.
Okay.
So go right ahead.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Got him.
So he is grabbed. All right. Grappled. Here we go. 246. Okay, so I was floating around the right page for it. There we go. Yeah, so he's got the grappled condition, which means he can't move. Zoe, your turn. What are you doing?
I think I can do something to knock him out.
You can adjust your blade to do stun damage instead.
That's right. That's the one.
Yeah.
I'll try that, I think.
So what do you think? Do we see like a shift in color with the
yes, it takes on a instead of fire, it takes on like a flowing sand like it sort of just it's like a running sort of sand dune within a crystalline structure.
Love it.
And I will go for a weapon. So this is without this is without the +10.
Yeah, so you could leap out the window to where... Now, hold on. I think because he's grappled, I think his KAC is actually lower.
Yeah, is he sort of prone or something? Or
hasn't been knocked prone, but he... -2 to AC. Yeah. Can't move, can't take two-handed actions. -2 to AC, most attack rolls, reflex saves, initiative checks, and dex-based skill and ability checks. So go ahead and give us a solar weapon attack there, so.
Okay.
And you're still blazing with solar power. Yeah. Oh my god. What does it look like as you render him unconscious?
Oh my goodness. It's actually a deceptive flick. It's just a flick of the blade, which just catches him on the back of the neck, just like.
And he falls limp in your arms, Zeb. If you don't want to carry him anymore, you can just let him fall to the ground.
I'll let him fall to the ground, and then we'll just put him in the car when it arrives.
So yeah, and I think that with that, we will end the session with Doc roaring up in your rented car, and he looks out the window at what's on the ground. He's like, "We're bringing passengers now."
Yeah, it's going to be good for us. More money, hopefully.
Okay. Zoe, you are definitely the stronger of the two, with 18 strength. So if you want to, now that combat's over,
it disappears, and two of my hands will sort of carry him over.
Yeah, you dump him in the trunk of the car, and you can hear the sounds of local law enforcement seemingly coming, and you can hear the rattle of armor of more members of the Rithlin Havar who are like, get him! So
time to go.
You hop in, and with 1 or 2 shots whizzing over the vehicle, we'll end our session with you guys roaring off into the Kabarat Nights in search of the Green Dragon's hideout or safe home. Safe home? What's the word I'm looking for here? Safe house. Jesus. What a weekend. All right, and with that, we'll bring this session, first part of Ever Deal with a Dragon, to a close. So, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for our our holiday Starfinder adventure. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the game, or the adventure we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we do have a channel dedicated to Starfinder, and if I haven't done it so far, I'll be posting the character sheets from this adventure over there, because we have those together. There is also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. They have a terrific selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games as well, but they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print games. If they do not have something in stock in their extensive catalog, you can put it on a want list, and you'll get an email when it comes in. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more, be sure to enter the code FALLMUSER, all caps, all one word. It's listed down below in the description, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. If you're listening to this after January 15, 2024, come back to one of our more recent videos, and you will find the updated discount code there. We are done with our charity fundraising for the year, and we'll have news about charity fundraising for next year. But if you wish to make any last-minute donations to the Heroes Save Villages campaign, the link is down below in the description of the video. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, an incredible organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children, including ongoing relief efforts in a bunch of different crisis areas in the world. You can learn all about that by following that link down below, and all donations that go through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart Starfinders. So, Graham and Darren and George, we hope you are feeling better. Graham, we hope you are feeling better too. I know you were feeling this under a ill cloud, but thank you so much for playing today, guys. I have been really looking forward to giving Starfinder a try. Darren did get to have my first return to Starfinder a couple of weeks ago, but this was really, this is very in the same vein of trying something to run Starfinder a different way than I have before, and I had a shit ton of fun running this for you today, so thank you very much. I'm so sorry for what's going to happen in part 2. It is just, betrayal, elves, and whatever goes wrong trusting a green dragon. Come on.
Yeah.
As long as he hasn't got big fangs, that's all that matters.
We will be back in tomorrow with our part 2 of this. We'll be joined by Dave for that session as well. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off to the troubles of our world or the waning hours and days of 2023. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.